Yeah, it's a momentous occasion.
Jamaican horns.
Episode 2. Oh, you're right. Let's wake them up. Let's go ahead and wake them up. Wake up the Jamaicans from my Nigerian brothers. Alright, the intro's running. Woo! Bud Light, give me money.
Word.
Hey! Welcome to Playmakers as Fuck. Episode 2. Woo! Man, episode 1 was a great one. Check out the debut of Playmaker AF featuring our man Westside Mo, now available. I am your host, Bogard, scot-free. Don't mind me. I may or may have not have overindulged, Jamaicans. This is a very, very special episode. I got my man's kid. Knowledge is delivered. He's one of San Jose's, I don't even want to say up and coming producer because you've been around for a minute, but he's one of the younger ones that's been doing it since he was a wee tyke, and he is definitely on the rise. It's my man K.I.D. Eureka! Hey, how you doing, K.I.D?
Yeah, I'm doing smooth. Good, nice to be here, man. Appreciate you for having me on the show.
Man, we appreciate
it. It's a nice day of quarantine. Was it quarantine day number 17? No, 6, 7.
Yeah, man. You know, you're right about 6 or 7 because in my day and age, I've been self-quarantined for like 6 or 7 years already. So you know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know what I mean? All right, check this out. Let's go ahead and handle some housekeeping real quick. Follow us at GMM Network on IG. Follow us or follow me at Bogard Scott Free World. And follow my man K.I.D. Go ahead and let him know where to follow you.
Follow me at Knowledge I Deliver at everything. Knowledge I Deliver on everything. IG, SoundCloud, Loom. Find me at Knowledge I Deliver.
That is Knowledge I Deliver, which is the acronym for K.I.D. for all you slow pokes out there. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Slow pokes.
So, for those of y'all that don't know, the Playmaker as Fuck series is all about artistry. It's all about entrepreneurship. It's all about hustlers of every nature. And real playmakers in their own life, in their own way, in their own right. And in this case, my man K.I.D., Knowledge I Deliver, or as I like to call him, Knowledge is Delivered, because I'm in the past tense, you know what I'm saying? I like to speak on my man like that, you know what I'm saying? But
delivered.
I've been privileged to watch this kid, pun intended, grow up to be the man that he is right now. You know what I mean? I like to feel that I had a hand in, you know, the person he has became. Pause. That might have sounded wrong, right? But you know what I'm saying? Because he was definitely under the umbrella of the East Side that I am also underneath, because we all grew up in the same area. And he was someone that always shook the Richter scale. You're always someone that sounded off the radar as a motherfucker who's on the rise, and a producer that you need to take note and pay attention to. And I had the privilege of having him. Yeah, and you know, it was only fitting that I get you on because you know, I just had Westside Mo on here. You know what I mean?
Shout out.
Right, big up. You know what I'm saying? You definitely you know, the soundtrack to his sound.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Me and Mo been working for a minute, so it's been something that.
As well as myself. You know what I mean? You know,
yeah, definitely.
This album I'm about to. Oh yeah, a lot of tracks. A lot of material. Hold on, we had just lost him. He'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Jamaican horns. You know what I mean? There he goes right there. You feel me? Oh, there he goes. He's back.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
No, it's all good. Things like this can occur in the field. I was like, hold on, Playmakers. He'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? Hey, things like this can occur in the field. You know what I'm saying? Just like right where it happened again. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have him get into a You know what? Whichever area you were in, you were definitely more solid. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, but we got you right there. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, what I want to do is I want to paint a timeline. You know what I'm saying? You are a producer extraordinaire. I want to paint a timeline. You think starting in elementary school does that suffice? Can we start there? I want to just set a timeline.
Yeah. We could start since I was a wee little lad.
Yes. Okay.
Man, growing up having brothers that listen to music. I remember my pops used to play reggae music every Friday when he came home.
Right.
So that used to be the shit. And then just growing up knowing that, always listening to Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff.
Yes.
Music's always been something that uplifted me, Friday's always a good day. So, Pops came home and played that stuff, as a youngin', I always loved it. And going on forward, I remember the first few, CDs my brothers bought, the Outkast album.
Mm-hmm.
We used to jag albums from the library because that was the only place that had them.
Right?
But
I remember those days. So I love that you painted the little picture right now, right? So you painted me a picture of a household full of different kinds of music, different genres, right? I want to know what was one of the genres of music that you were like, man, this shit is tight. Like what made you gravitate towards said genre? Like, do you remember which artist or which song?
Shoot, I can say I grew up on reggae, so I always knew the lyrics.
You love some Bob Marley then?
Yeah, I love the spoken words. I love the messages. You know what I mean? And then as I grew up, rap became the dope. The rap became the stuff that really pushed me because they were telling stories and making things make sense in a different way. And not weirdly enough, but growing up, I used to like a lot of rappers, but one rapper that really stood out was Eminem, just because he had hella good storytelling. It was weird.
You mean how he would be like? You mean how he'd be like? I went to John's rave. I went to Bob's rave with me and John. He said I met a new wave blonde babe with half of her head shaved. A nurse aide came to get laid and tied up with first aid tape and raped on the first date. Susan, a next heroin radical, just stopped using. Yeah, hell of a storyteller.
It's just storytelling, man. So. But I listened to everything else. Remember, my uncle brought us the Chronic album as a kid. My brothers, we used to play music as a group. So whatever my brothers were on, I was on. So that's how I really grew up loving rap. I remember CMC back in the day.
Oh my God, CMC Jamaicans, bro. You know what's crazy is in Vegas, right? I'll just a side note. In Vegas, Franzen. Do you remember Trace and Franzen?
No. Who's that?
So Trace and Franzen, they were a tag team duo, and they were on Cameo, and they were also they were also spearheading CMC. So they had a show where they were on before Chewy. You know what I mean? And Franzen's a Filipino cat, so that's why I always took notice to him. You know what I mean? Shout out to my people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Jamaicans.
Yeah, I know, right? Jamaicans. And ironically, later on down the road, he ended up moving to Vegas, and he has the number one hip hop station in Vegas now. And he was one of he was one of the first guys that actually played my music on. And this was right 2 months or 3 months before I had my first daughter. I was in Vegas fucking around, and he showed us some love, man, and got us on. But so go on. So CMC, what else?
And then shit. Just from there, I just grew up liking music. And then my brothers would always be rapping as kids. I would rap as well. Always had some super sick with it flow.
Right.
But I never really clinged to rapping like they did. That was just a write. But I remember the time when I said I'm going to write. It was in elementary school.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometime in elementary or middle school, I remember sitting down and being like, I'm going to make music. Me and my boy grabbed a notepad, and we started going to work.
Right? See, I love these stories. This is why this is what makes a playmaker. This is the beginning stages of a playmaker. Right? Playmakers, y'all hear that? It all starts from inspiration. So in this case, you started writing. You know what I'm saying? You had the Chronic album, all that shit. What is there a time you could pinpoint yourself? Because I know you're talking about rapping and writing lyrics, right? Writing bars and shit. But you ultimately became one of the illest producers I've ever encountered. So, in this time, on this point of the timeline, is there a producer or a track where you heard the beat where you were like, bro, I need to make beats? Can you remember, is there a time you could pinpoint, or an artist or a beat?
I think the first few beats that like really caught my attention were Timbaland beats.
Woo!
I remember how he had the Aaliyah sample with the baby crying.
Oh yeah,
and then
Are You That Somebody?
The one where he does that beatboxing shit, where he's like,
yeah. Ooh.
I remember I was there. I didn't really make me say I want to make beats, but it made me like.
But that one, it resonated with
like,
you.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay, that's different. Like, yeah, some shit going.
You know
and
what?
Then, like, I really didn't understand beat making.
I'm gonna hit you with a surprise right now. Hold on. Hey Siri, call Timbaland. Oh shit, I don't have Timbaland's number. I forgot I don't know him. But you know what I'm saying? That would have been ill, you know what I'm saying? To let him know. Alright, let's get back to the story. Let's get back to the timeline. Alright, so
so but he didn't, I won't say, but around that time is when I really like started listening to beats and understanding beats, because I just didn't understand beats and stuff. I didn't know you can make beats. And before becoming a beat maker, I wanted to become a DJ. Because I remember chilling with my brothers and I was like, I don't want to rap, but I wanna somehow have some, like,
you want to orchestrate
some way where I still want to orchestrate some shit, like have that position. And I was like, man, you know what? I started looking into DJ equipment, but DJ equipment was way too expensive.
Oh yeah, you ain't lying.
I remember I was like, so I couldn't really get a turntable. I remember I tried to get my pop's old turntables. It wasn't working.
Yeah, that shit wouldn't suffice. You know what I mean? That was a record player. You needed a turntable.
Yeah, I was probably in high school at this time, and I remember it to this day. I had this. My dad had some magazine, and my brother had a magazine from, I think it was Sweetwater or some shit.
Oh yeah, magazine. Shout out to Sweetwater.
Right? So then they had this poster, and it was like a DJ set poster, like everything you need to be a DJ type of shit. You know what I mean? It had like 3 different mics, and but it was like a poster of like all the equipment, 3 different turntables, headphones, and I post that shit on my wall, and I was like, I want to get a set. And then I used to just think about how I'm going to get the money to get a set, because I knew it was like over like a rack, $1,500. Then one day I bumped into an Asian kid at school. So shout out to this Chinese kid, whatever he was.
Yeah, hold on. Pause that real quick. You see what I'm saying, Playmakers? The Chinese and influenced them. Don't let this corona get y'all prejudiced. Don't get all prejudiced now. All right, Playmakers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know we're all dealing with this shit as humankind together, but we're talking about life before corona, and a lot of people are prejudiced. I just want to take note and tell everybody that shit's some fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, back to the timeline. So a Chinaman.
So I met him in class, and I remember he was like, oh, Uche, he just liked the values and shit that I had. So he was like, what do you like to do? But he barely spoke English. And I remember I was like, yeah, I wanna do DJing and shit. And he was just like, oh, for real? I was like, yeah, I want to do DJing and shit. I want to do some shit with music. And then he was like, oh, I got you. I didn't understand what he meant. But the next day, he came through with a hard drive with all the crack software you can think of.
Oh yeah.
All the crack. But I didn't even know
and that's why I fuck with Chinese though, man. Shout out to my Chinese boys, man.
Real talk.
Shout out to my man Jimmy, man. You know Chef Peas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my best friends in the world, man. His family owns Chef Peas. He has his own.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Chef Peas, but he was he was my crack software guru. You know what I mean? Like, bro, anything he was like, you ever heard of torrents? I was like, no, what's that? You know what I mean? Motherfucker laced me.
Basically. So he basically laced me up, but hey, a lot of people don't trust people for shit. This nigga gave me his whole hard drive for a weekend. And I remember plugging that shit in my computer, and my shit just started bugging out. That's just how much shit you had in it. My computer was just flipping off of this shit.
That shit started geeking.
Just geeking. And I remember I was like, damn. I want to get... I didn't even get any beat making shit. I got virtual DJ. That was the first shit I got. Because I was like, ooh, I could practice with this virtual DJ shit for a little bit, and once I'm ready, I'll get onto the big noise. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I got this virtual DJ. I was fucking with it for a little bit. I was making some mixes and chops and shit, but it wasn't enough. I needed that analog feel. You know what I mean? But then I remember telling one of my boys, like, yeah, I got this virtual DJ from this Asian kid who had hella crack shit. He was like, hey, see if he has Fruity Loops and this. And it was Dom. Dom was like, see if he has Fruity Loops and Reasons and this and that. And I was like, huh? But I already gave him his hard drive back. But I asked for it back, and he gave it back to me. I seen Fruity Loops. There was Sony Acid Pro. There was Reasons. And I basically downloaded all those little crack things. Shit, that was the first time I had on a desktop I built in a computer camp like 2 years before.
Man, that's fucking gratifying. Isn't that gratifying?
You know what I mean? Like,
you got to build. Yes. See, that's
Playmaker. I had the computer. Matter of fact, the computer's right here in the back in the studio.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that not Playmaker as fuck? Right?
Right.
Yeah, my motherfucker had to build his own shit to, you know what I mean, to go ahead and plant the foundation of what it is today. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now, and you know, I know you know what I'm saying, you gravitated towards FL Studio. Matter of fact, Fruity Loops give me money, you know what I'm saying?
Give me money, Fruity.
Yes,
actually,
you know what I'm saying?
It was all free, but you know, give me money.
Yes, Fruity Loops give me money. If we're promoting it, go ahead and pay us for it, you know what I'm saying? and while we're at it, Bud Light, give me money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or Jameson, give me money.
Okay, yeah, J-Mo. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now you're fucking with the Fruity Loops, right?
Yeah.
And you know what's dope is I want to veer off on the timeline, but you know what's happening simultaneously in this timeline we're talking about. So you know Dom P. Shout out to Dom P. You know what I mean? Dom P. He's actually gonna come on an episode with us pretty soon here, but I'm bringing him up because you know what I mean. If I want to look at where I fit in the timeline to meeting y'all, it's from meeting Dom. You know what I mean? And when I met Dom, you know what I'm saying, we were doing a business deal. You know what I mean? We won't get into the details. You know what I mean? And I told this story on the last podcast. It was funny as hell to me because we're doing this. We're getting a bag, and we happen to be at my studio. And Dom, he's looking around the room. You know what I mean? I got multi-producers. They're in their own stations. You know, one is making beats on Fruity Loops. The other one's working on Reason. They all got their headphones on. I'm over here. I'm recording an artist in the booth. And then, you know, then I'm over, and then, you know, we're making this business transaction. And then Dom looks around the room and he goes, hey, bro, is this a studio? And I started laughing like a motherfucker because I was like, hell yeah, this is a studio, because he was stating the obvious, but he was just being so honest, like looking around like, yo, is this a studio? You know what I mean? And then I said, hell yeah, we got rappers here, we got motherfuckers making beats. And he goes like this, he goes, man, I'm trying to learn how to make beats. And I'm like, bruh, you need to fuck with me. You know what I mean? And like, long story longer, you know what I mean? He would hit me and I'd be like, yeah, come through. You can sit in on every session you want. He would sit in on the sessions and he would ask questions because, mind you, Playmakers, always remember this. The genius asks questions. You know what I mean? The genius asks questions. You know what I mean? Not everyone knows everything right away, but the genius will go in and ask the questions to add to the genius. You know what I mean? So in this case, he was like, yeah, he would ask the questions, you know what I mean? And I couldn't answer all the questions myself, but I had the guys that could. So I'd be like, boom, you want to know about Fruity Loops? Bam, here's my guy. You want to know about reasons? Bam, here's my guy. And like, he picked up everything like a motherfucker, like it was like the reverse hot potato, you know what I mean? Like he was picking everything up instead of tossing it, you know what I mean? It was fucking amazing, you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Long story longer, it had brought me to meeting y'all, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, just go ahead and hold on, we lost him again. He's coming back. Here he comes. Pause. Hold on, we're gonna wait for him to hit us right back. Yep, there he is. Bam. Yeah, so yo. Do we got you? Hold on. Things like this can occur in the field. You know what? Let me just finish rolling this joint. You know what I'm saying? Boom, there he is again. Oh, it dropped again. Anyways, right? So what I'm going to tell y'all is like the homeboy Don P, he done laced us up, you know what I'm saying, with this street shit. And I was so proud to be able to contribute to him as a producer learning, you know what I mean? Because he started the family tree that our man Kid was under. Okay, bam, now I got you. There he is. Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
No, all good. Things like this can occur in the field. So anyways, I was telling him about how Dom P is, he started the umbrella. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right, so now tell me, I want you to paint me the picture. You know what I mean? Because I could tell you when I first met you, but I want to hear when. So now during this time on the timeline, right? We'll skip forward. So now we got the Y Mansion popping off, right? You were about to graduate high school, I remember, right? And I would be at the Y Mansion in the studio working, and I would see you working with Dom, and he was lacing you up. You were already making beats at the time, but he was lacing you up on how to use like the motif and how to like record live, and he was teaching you like certain schematics, right? And
I remember that.
Remember that? And then like I remember Dom goes like this, because I was there with Chan. Shout out to Chan.
Chan.
And shout out to Chan, you know what I'm saying? He was like, hey man, anything you need to know, I want to come help you learn whatever you need to know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now you fast forward just a little bit more, and now I'm in your studio at the crib. You know, by this time it was already it was probably like a year after the Y Mansion. Unfortunately, Dom P was incarcerated at the time, and like this is when I really, me personally, in my part of the story, I started really reaching out to If and reaching out to y'all, because it was like you guys were my Dom P was my connection to you guys, and now he was locked up, and it was like, yo, I need to fuck with my niggas, you know what I mean? And like. So, you know what I'm saying? So now it lands me in the studio with you. And it was funny because I'm tying this in with Mo's timeline where, you know what I mean? We did a track all together. Yeah, and we did a track all together. And it was that Packs In or Packs Out, whichever I forget what.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it was a dope ass beat you had made. And then so I'm in the studio with Chan, in your studio. And Chan was teaching you how to like track everything out, like import everything into the Pro Tools, and how to use Expand, and like, you know what I mean? And it was you know me, I remember this vividly, because now in hindsight I could almost pinpoint some moments where you were learning some certain things that you carry with you till this day. You know what I mean?
Real talk. A lot of things, actually.
Right?
I had to really be a sponge. Anytime I seen somebody who knew what they were doing on the computer, I had to be a sponge and just try to get as much as I could for them in that little time.
So during this time, you were really starting to get your legs as a producer, right? So
Real talk.
So during this time, you were already fucking with the Fruity Loops tough. That was already like your your go-to.
I was knee deep in Fruity,
right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now, during this time, what can you remember an influence at all as far as producers? Like, was there any producers at the time? I mean, you had like your DJ Mustards. You had who else was popping at the time? You had your Rob Lowe's from the Bay Area. You know what I mean? This was like before. This was like mad years before like Metro Boomin and them. You know what I mean? I like to put you in that category.
Really though?
I definitely like to put you in that category as far as producer wise. That's why I bring them up. You know what I mean? But like, was there a producer at the time that like that kind of influenced your sound?
One of them was Kanye.
Nice.
Kanye was around then. It was Kanye, but mainly it was the people that are closest to me. I was really influenced by If and Dom P, because If at the time was making beats, and If used to make beats on Reasons. If used to make smacks.
Look at If being all low key on the slap. What? Put that on.
If used to rap still, but If used to make beats.
No, of course. I meant If as a rapper, but damn, I didn't know he was making the slaps. Okay, this is dope. Because you're, like I said, you're one of the greatest producers I've ever encountered personally. So hearing this part of the origin story is new to me. So If is making some slaps on the Reason.
Yeah, If used to make Reason slaps. If used to make slaps, and then he would come through, I think, record him with Dom P, and then be like, "Oh yeah, this is a beat I made, and this is what I recorded it with Dom." I didn't know where they were recording at, but I used to be like, "Damn, If got the slaps." And then I remember when I got the shit from the Asian kid, I used to try Reasons out, but that shit was just too much, too complicated.
Because it looks like Chinese. You know what I mean? It looks like a different language. You know what I mean?
Real talk. And If said he had a whole book manual for it, so he somehow,
of course he did.
Configured it.
I can hear If. Hey yo, kid. Here's If. He'd be like, "Hey yo, kid, I got the manual, dog." You know what I mean? I got the whole manual. You know what I mean?
And I used to be like, so If used to make sample tracks, like almost like Kanye. So I used to be like, "Oh, that shit slap." Like,
wow.
So then I used to be like, okay, I'm trying to do that, but I never really knew how to get samples. And this was before, I don't know why, it wasn't really before, but I wasn't really looking up on YouTube like how to make a beat or
because that's barely a thing of the past like 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? Like where there's tutorials now. Before that, people were like, "Yo, this is it stayed true to the art form where it was kind of like sacred. It was sacred. You know what I mean?
Like I'm not gonna display it,
right? Because nowadays you can go on YouTube and you can be like, "All right, Metro Boomin beat tutorial," and then you can get a skeleton of structure how to make those type of beats. You know what I mean? Trap.
Yeah.
You could be like trap soul tutorials. You know what I mean? They got it all nowadays. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah.
I actually love it, but like I definitely love the fact that you came from an original cloth. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? You were definitely, even though you are a youngin' in his 20s still.
Good looking.
I've seen you. You know what I mean? I got to see you grow.
Real
so
talk.
I can vouch for
this. You were definitely inside there. You have a couple chapters.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know me. I be flipping the pages. You know what I'm saying? Putting a goddamn bookmarker. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna return to that, right? Okay, so now If got you influenced a lot like Kanye, and I love that. Like I know If is so humble, but if I was If, I'd be like, "You're goddamn right." With Kanye, I'm in there with Kanye. You know what I mean? Like
for real.
Yeah. Okay. So continue.
So then, If used to come through and make like dope ass, like I remember he made like a Bert Soren song. That actually was like made me like, damn, I want to get on making more beats. Like,
damn, bruh.
I want to be able to make beats like that. Then I remember I set up I set up my whole computer in my room, so like when I wake up, I'd make beats.
Yeah. He ain't even brushed his teeth yet.
Before I brushed my teeth. Like, brushing your teeth was too already structured.
That's second to the future.
You know what I'm saying? I said, and just from there, I slowly just kept making beats. And well, Timbaland was one of them. Timbaland was like someone dope. I was like, okay, this nigga makes slaps.
Right?
Kanye was definitely one of the big ones. I was like, damn, this nigga just... Because he also rapped, too. So I was like, man, I can rap, too.
And for motherfuckers, this is why I want to highlight Kanye right here, is because for artists and / producers, or even just rappers and producers separately, you know, Kanye, he opened the doors for like motherfuckers that weren't from the projects. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because if you remember the industry, as far as like popularity and label, as far as like label execs, like what they looked at was street motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And like Kanye, here he comes. He's a college dropout. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, real tough.
He's rocking pink. He's rocking Lacoste and polo, and I rock joints like that because of him. You know what I mean? I'm rocking golf shorts. You feel me? Loafers and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, okay. So go on. I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, so what's it called? And then like, cause If used to work with Dom, so I used to like get shit from Dom. So I used to learn a lot from Dom, cause then Dom used to hang with Oaks. So then I used to hang with Oaks, and then I used to be around them a little bit.
Profito, right? For everybody who don't know.
Yeah. Profito,
shout out Prophet. Shout out the capo. You know what I mean? The capo.
Yeah, real talk. We gonna definitely have to have him on episode.
Oh yeah, we got him scheduled already. We're gonna get him down. You know what I mean? And for y'all playmakers who aren't aware, this is also one of his brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. The family runs dirt.
Yay.
Well, yeah. So after that, I remember Don P. What was it? Like you said. So when Don P got locked up, I remember I started buying recording equipment. Because after Chowder the Chan came through and showed me Pro Tools, and then and I had it on my computer and I knew I could record or something. It was probably in between that time. I told myself, I was like, hey, I should just get some more recording equipment.
Exactly.
And then set up. And then Don P got locked up and he was the one recording everybody. So then I was like, oh, this is the time for me to start recording.
Yep.
So then I set up all my equipment and I took everything from upstairs and I brought it downstairs and I set it up in the game room, which was where we played video games, and which now is the studio.
Is the stew, right?
So I was in there and I remember setting up the stuff, and I remember setting up everything and I couldn't get it to run for like a week. And
hey, how discouraged did you feel right there?
Bro, I felt hella mad because I spent money for new speakers, the inbox, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so back then I didn't have a job. That was my money.
Right? You was fresh out of school. You know what I mean?
Fresh out of school.
And I want to let the playmakers know too. My man Kid right here. My man Knowledge, I deliver. You know, speaking on his behalf. Kid, he's a first generation born Nigerian American. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
I want to point this. I want to point this out because just like Mo is, you know, he's the same. And I'm Filipino American, first generation born. You know what I mean? So I know how it is to have parents. They come from another place and they was getting it. So like when you talk about, hey, I'm about to make music, they might look at you and raise an eyebrow or two. You know what I mean? Like be like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, are you okay? Like, you know what I mean?
For real?
Right? So, okay, so I just want to let the playmakers know because, you know what I'm saying, how much the music meant, like, look, how much it put on our shoulders and the pressure that makes diamonds was there because, you know what I mean, we come from a background where they want us to be doctors and lawyers and, you know what I mean, when they see us. Yeah, right? So okay, so
completely different.
So you couldn't get everything to work, right? Everything. So you're hot about the shit. Okay, so pick it up from there.
And then what's it called? So my family, I started setting up in the game room because Don P got locked, and then I remember shit just being hella frustrated trying to get this shit up, and eventually I think it was just for starting the whole.
Okay, we lost him again. He's gonna be back though. This is gonna be a nice run-on joke. I love it. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
No, hey, check this out. Would you believe I hung up on you that time?
It might have been it.
Nah, you know what? Yeah, I'll take responsibility for that one. Even though I didn't do shit. But you back? Okay, so Dom is locked, and you set up.
Yeah.
You set up in the game room. This is the precursor to the stew.
Yep, basically. So then after that, I got everything set up, and I basically restarted it. And after I restarted it, it started working, and I became, a slow student out of all mistakes and just messing up so many times, and the mic not working, and getting a mic stand. It was a slow grind, slow build up.
How many times when you were trying to figure the mic out, you were like, "Oh shit, the phantom power is off."
Oh yeah, I went through that stage. That happened. That happened to me for maybe for a couple weeks actually.
Right, you're like, oh shit.
That was like one of the weeks. Like, phantom power. I think Don P showed me that. Like,
because when you have a compressor mic, you know what I mean? It's like, I need extra power. I was like, basically. Okay. I love that shit. That was definitely like a week of learning. It's crazy how long it took, but nowadays kids can just look it up and how fast they can just find it. I know, right? Because there's somebody who's a hell of a guy on you or girl on YouTube. Like, here's a tutorial how to set up your mic. You know what I mean? Like,
real talk, giving straight game.
Right?
If you don't have a mic, watch my other video.
For real. Okay.
But yeah, so after I got everything set up.
No, go ahead.
So after I got everything set up, I remember just the first few people I recorded was Mo.
There you go. That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna say who was the first. Who was the first? But yeah, and then I said
Mo was the first person I recorded. Then I started recording Deuce, If, Oaks, and then I started recording them, and then that's how I slowly started recording more. And then I really, really did a lot of work with my cousin C Star. I recorded his. That was the first mixtape.
Shout out to C Star.
His first album. His first mixtape album, however you want to call it. What was it called?
So he was the first project that you executive produced.
Yes, basically the first.
You're a producer already, because you make beats.
Yes.
But now when you put a whole project together, that immediately it puts you in the realm of executive producer.
Real talk. And before I didn't think of it like that. You know what I mean? I didn't really. I was just like, I just recorded his songs, but at the same time,
you're like, bruh, I'm Diddy.
Yeah. Real talk. Help set up the schedule, get them recorded. So, but to this day, I thought about it later and realized that was the first shit I recorded. But then from there, I was just recording everybody, because then it was like, okay, kids getting their hands on recording now. So then I just started slowly recording more people. Me and Mo just slowly had hella songs. And then I was making beats. Then it just slowly started churning. And then as time has fast forwarded, Don P got out. He seen I had it set up. He was like, for sure. We could definitely work more. So I started working with more Don P. And then I used to just sit, like you said, I used to just sit behind this nigga while he used to record and make beats and just ask questions.
Yeah, because the genius asks questions.
Real talk.
Yeah,
I used to just sit there countless hours. I used to fall asleep behind him. Just countless hours of just me sitting there watching, like, why'd you do that? Why is that? Oh, okay, what's that? Oh, for sure, what's that? Oh, okay, how do you do that? For sure, what's that? And then eventually I just started getting a hand on things. And whenever Don P wasn't there, I'd be able to sit in and record, and then just get a little practice here and there, and then just slowly keep working on my beats and recording. Then after that, it just slowly kept developing, and I think shortly after, my brother Prophet was like, we're about to go to Vegas. No. Before that.
Before that, you already had the sound cave popping.
No. Even before that, we had 24K Studios.
There it is. That's so right. And Deuce had a hitter. I remember Deuce had a hitter track. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I remember 24K Studios. 24K Studios was our man Dom P. Yep, 24K Studios was definitely the shit. Yep. So take us from 24. Tell me about that, because that's the one studio, that and the Vegas joint. Those are the ones mind you, I fucked with Dom in Vegas, but you know, we were out there, you know what I'm saying, on some other shit, you know what I mean? So I didn't even get to the lab with him, you know what I mean? But and with 24K. So tell me about 24K, because I personally don't know, you know, I didn't get to experience that. So tell the Playmakers what that was like, because this is now your first official like station, right? Like
24K was the first official station and feel of a studio, like, because we had
outside of the cribbo.
Yeah, outside of the cribbo.
Yeah, because you know, you can have a home studio, but like being out somewhere that you could declare a sanctuary where, like, you know what I mean? That's
There's a
big.
different script.
Oh yeah.
Like the studio we used to have our dog RP Chronic.
Oh yes. Shout out to Chronic, man.
Right, but so he used to be at the studio, of my house. So the whole house smelled like dog.
Yeah, like Chronic, like Chronic,
the dog house.
Like some good Chronic.
Some good Chronic. But then when that 24K came around, it was nice to just go over there and like sit down and make beats in a bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having like a full-on set equipment with the cameras and the fucking board and the fucking booth. So they gave me that full experience of really being in the studio. But before that, I used to go to Sound Theory with Dom, with Rico in Santa Clara.
Oh, okay. My bad. I was gonna say, because there was another joint on Taylor. Remember that joint?
Which one was that?
Damn, I forget. You know what? Fuck that. I can't remember the name of that studio, but I remember Dom used to know those owners too. But anyways, yes. So the joint in Santa Clara. Tell me that one now.
So that joint in Santa Clara, he used to just go there to record and get his shit mixed and shit. But I remember seeing that setup, and that was what ideally I was like, man, we need a setup like this. And that's what 24K was. It was like a legit enough setup, just like that one that we seen. And I remember just being there, being able to work on the big boards and shit. Shit felt good.
Right.
And there was multiple producers there, so I wasn't like always being called on to be the main person working on shit. So it felt good to actually just be a part of like a bigger thing.
Yeah, because that way too. Because, you know, at the same time, during that time, you know, because ultimately I know you personally. I know you're a humble cat. So like. So like, you know what I mean? You probably like that version better, where you're like, all right, cool, I can just play my part, where it's like, I'm not in the forefront just yet with motherfuckers, because you see what it is for someone like Dom P too, who was in the forefront. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulder blades, you know what I mean? Because everyone's coming at him. They're like, yo, everyone wants to record. Everyone, he's housing different projects. You know what I mean? Like for example, I mean, you know this nowadays, like when you're housing different projects, you know, you feel responsible too. You know what I mean? You feel like,
oh yeah, that's added tension.
Yeah, like you gotta put, like, as a producer, when you're executive producing an entire project, you gotta push that artist too. You gotta be on their line. You know what I mean? Like we haven't made it, quote unquote, yet. You know what I mean? So it's like, exactly. You have to let people know. Sometimes you're like, you know what I mean? That's what an artist might even need, is that someone else cares about their shit just as much, because ultimately it's a symbiotic relationship between artists and producers, where it's like unless you build your career on putting out instrumental albums, right? Like you need these artists and they need you. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, so like
actually, but before the 24K studio, I kind of want to rewind. We had the Wine Mansion studio.
Yeah, that's it's like, yeah, we kind of we touched on that a little bit earlier, because that's where I met you. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I met you. So that's actually because I started recording at the house, but then we had the Wine Mansion studio, and they had the Wine Mansion.
Yep.
And that was I remember that was the next move we had for a while, and then it flipped to 24K.
Okay, I wanna pause this real quick, right?
I wanted to watch Y Mansion, but continue.
I want to pause this real quick and shout out our sponsor, Milk and Honey TX. Go ahead and check them out at www.milkandhoneytx.com for all your CBD goodness. Bam! Housekeeping. Now, I wanted to pause that also because before we continue from 24K on, I want you to tell the Playmakers what it was like being a youngster during that time with the Y Mansion, because I'll tell you this much.
Say it again. Say that one more time.
I want you to tell the Playmakers what it was like, you know what I mean, just as a youngster, just graduated high school, and then they got the studio at the Y Mansion, and there's all these incredible parties being thrown where we're charging at the door, and I got my DJ, I'm hosting the joint, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was like that? I mean, what was it like? I just want you to paint the picture because, you know, and before we continue from 24K and on, because the Y Mansion was something fucking epic. It was a fucking...
Y Mansion was... The Y Mansion told me self-interest, man. Just that you can make anything possible. Because I remember, prior to the Y Mansion, Don P told me, he was like, kid, you're going to throw the craziest graduation
Hey, hold on real quick. And that's YNIC, as in young niggas in charge. And they all had they all were hustling ass motherfuckers renting a fucking mini mansion. I'm talking about 8 rooms, motherfucking goddamn studio, goddamn.
You come in on the second floor.
Yep, you come in on the second floor. It's a tri-level. There's a motherfucking on the bottom level. There's a goddamn dance floor with a full bar and a stripper pole. And then, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about we used to charge at the door. I would come through with my motherfucking, what was that shit? The metal detector.
The metal detector.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it was a full-on nightclub in the hood and in the hills of the like right before the hills even.
Real talk.
So it was like right outside the hood for real, like because we're from San Jose.
Smack dab between the hood and the hills, dog.
I want the Playmakers to know we're from San Jose, California. We're from the east side.
San Jose.
And you know, not only see what people know us for right now.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, right. What people know us for right now, currently, they know us for having the fastest rising corona infection numbers, you know what I mean? But way before that, bro, we were fucking throwing the most epic fucking house parties. Like, bro, shout out to Kid and Play. We were throwing house parties that rivaled their shit, shitted on their shit.
Real talk. We were doing Planet X before Planet X was
exactly.
Planet X.
There you go. Better than Kid and Play, because you know that dated me. I'm an old motherfucker. I'm in my 30s.
You right with the shit though.
Yeah, but Planet X definitely, because, bro, I remember cops used to come through
and not even shut it down.
Yeah, but they would be looking. You know, I'd be in the front. Like, you know, I would spend the first couple hours in the front. Then I would go down with the DJ and I would host the shit for the last hour before we kicked everybody out. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because the cops would come through and they would be like, "Where's Prophet?" Right? Bruh, like it was crazy because they were looking for bruh because he was promoting the fuck out of the joint. And it was the first time I was like, wow, bro, they're looking at you guys as a gang throwing house parties, and you guys are, and you know me, I go like this. They're searching me, mind you. I look like a wanted poster. You know what I mean? So like they're hemming me up in the front. They're patting me down, and I don't give a fuck, right? I'm like, fuck the cops. And then they start asking me questions. They're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm the DJ. You know what I mean? I'm with the DJs. I'm throwing a party here. I'm paid. Like, you know what I mean? So then they start asking me, well, who's Prophet? And I go, I don't, what Prophet? You mean the money we're making? You know, I start playing dumb, right? And then the motherfucker goes, no, it's the motherfucker that's promoting this shit on Facebook. And bro, that was the most important piece of like knowledge, information to hear, because then later on I was like, bruh, they're on you guys online right now. They're watching y'all. Like, and it wasn't none of y'all fault. It's the fact that you can't control online. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm a dope dealer of allegedly. You know what I mean?
Allegedly, yeah.
So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I allegedly lived a lifetime of like knowing how it is to try to control the 6th degree of separation. When you get
Real
on,
talk.
because that's information, people that know
Yep.
what you're doing. So, but when you're promoting something, you need everybody to know what you're doing. So in this case, here's some thug motherfuckers from the Y. You know what I'm saying? Y's up. Shout out to the
Real
Y.
talk.
And these motherfuckers they got cops coming through to their shit because they're getting wind of it online. And I was like, bro, this is serious. And he was like,
serious.
and it's funny because, Prophet, this is young Prophet, he was like, yeah, man, nah, I ain't tripping. I'm like, brother.
You wild.
I'm like, bro, they're on y'all. And I told Dom, he was like, yeah, Dom, he don't take it lightly. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
What's up?
Dom's one of those motherfuckers. He's like, I'm gonna let everybody promote. He wouldn't. You know what I mean? He always plays the background while he pulls the strings.
Ventrilla, yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so now I just wanted to, and before I put a pin on that, the goddamn Y Mansion parties. If you were an adolescent at the time, it was popping. Like, bro, like everybody had to check their guns in, or not check them in, so to speak, but like they couldn't get in with their guns, so they put them in the car.
People from niggas from Oakland with dreads in their head was putting their guns in their car.
Yeah, because they seen all the scattered ass everywhere. They're like, bro, I'll pay $5 to get in and put my gun in the car, and then I'll come in so I can come through. You know what I mean? And like, it was fucking epic. Like, shout out to Monk. I remember young Monk used to come through with like After Some, and then shout out to After Some and all them.
Yeah,
I bring these names up because these are the guys that are
they were on,
but they're also affiliated with Thizzler. You know what I mean? Thizzler, you know what I mean? And Thizzler, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I'm just trying to paint a picture, like, because the world knows about Thizzler. You know what I mean? These guys were at our joint. You know what I mean? Like, we were just
that's real.
We were just real street niggas, just getting it in. You know what I mean? Throwing fat house parties in the motherfucking fat mansion where none of us belonged. You know what I mean?
I remember bitches was coming from Antioch. A bitch drove by herself from Antioch.
Bitches used to sleep there for days.
Yeah, that is, she ain't even lying.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I just wanted to let the Playmakers know how epic the Y Mansion era was. So now, we'll take it from after the Y Mansion era, because there was the studio there. You know what I mean? I know you were able to spread your wings there and be able to hone your craft and learn things there, right? So now then we fast forward to being, Dom's locked. Now I'm fucking with you tough because you know how we do. We was getting a bag.
To the house.
We were getting a bag. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Bakers, man. You know what I mean? We were getting a bag, and we're making this rap.
Movements,
bro. We're making this rap music. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, right during that time, you know what I'm saying? This is when I was about. Now you fast forward a couple years. Let's take it to like 2013. So I'm having my second child, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm super on psychedelic drugs. So I was just, and I want to point that out because now I'm looking at everything from the universal standpoint. You know what I mean? And I'm loving life. You know what I mean? And like, you know what I'm saying. Then when I came back into music, right? Because I never stopped. But when I came back into doing my own personal shit, I was like, I need to go and fuck with K.I.D, right? And by this time, you were at the Sound Cave, right?
Yep, Sound Cave.
And so before, I want to make a quick note, right? Because I'm going to point something out. Then I'm going to take a piss while you just elaborate, right? But check this out. So when you told me about the Sound Cave, right? I had already heard about this house. It was a house, a fat house, and it was a house that was all studios. Ain't nobody lived there. And actually, people lived there, but they had a studio there. And if they were living there, they were just living at the studio. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah.
Right, but it was a fucking crazy studio. And check this out, Playmakers. If you want to go look this up. There's a famous band from San Jose that originated from San Jose. They're called Smash Mouth. And Smash Mouth used to record their music at this house. Matter of fact, to the degree that they made platinum hits, and then they went and bought the house, and they still own the house to this day, and all these studios are in there, right?
Yeah.
So now I want you to tell them, tell the Playmakers, take it from when you first got into the sound cave.
Yeah, so when I got into the sound cave, it was me and Mo. Me and Mo went in there. We linked up with Uz Hefner, and we just started first recording and making music over there. And we were just making beats. I would just be making beats there. And when we were there, we also met just a couple other producers over there. But that's where we were like, oh, we need to make sure we need to make this our home in terms of having a studio place. Because my older brother, Prophet, and Prophet was all in Don P were in Vegas, and they had the studio out there. So we were like, we need to hold it down somewhere in San Jose. So that's when we had the Sound Cave. And then we came up with the idea with the name. We came up with a logo and just started wanting to push it in terms of a place to come and record. And we were like, because San Jose didn't really have a spot like that to record. So we had good, like, affordable system. And everybody knew where we were at because we were at that sound management spot. Shit was smooth, though, for a while. Niggas are making a lot of music, recording a lot of people in that studio. Shit, countless people at that studio. And then, shit, we just developed from there. From there, we just developed our games in terms of being a studio and actually running music as a business because we were making money and paying rent for the studio space. From there, though, we just kept grinding, and that's when I started working with Bogard. That's when I started working with Shoe Dog, and then from there, we just kept developing more and more shit. I used to come through and help. Hey, those days you did come through and really supported me as a producer because I didn't have too many people coming through to like buy beats and like record and pay for time at that time.
And you know me, so I would come through, drop some bread, and it was really just like here's $100. I'm gonna be here for 2 hours. You know what I mean? Whatever we do, right? It was. I loved you for that because
them times have helped.
Fuck yeah, and you helped me out too because I was stepping back out. You know what I mean? I was stepping back out into the rap game, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Because I would always live the life. I always live the life that rappers talk about. And then, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I'm coming back out. You know what I mean? And like, and I'll get in the sound cave. And if you remember, right? Remember, I was aware of the sound cave, right? Like, not the sound cave specifically, but the house, the goddamn, remember, I would be rubbing the walls. Right? I'd be in there rubbing the walls down.
Every day for good luck.
And you'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, they made platinum hits here. Smash Mouth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to get the energy somehow. You know what I mean? Like, I want to draw from it because it's okay. So now that we're talking about the Smash Mouth studio, the sound cave, right? The first sound cave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about legendary San Jose producer from the Seven Trees. Tell me about working with. Oh, hold on. Lost him again. Oh, almost. We're back. You know what I'm saying?
We're back.
So now that we're on the sound cave, right? I want you to tell me about working with legendary San Jose producer Trax a Million.
Yeah. So at the sound cave. For a while, we didn't even know that Trax was there. You mean we were just trying to make music and make it happen there. And then eventually, the word got out that he was like had a room right down the hallway. So eventually, shit started.
Was he the upstairs? Was he the upstairs joint?
Nah, it wasn't even upstairs. It was just down the hallway. I guess he wasn't there a little bit for the beginning, but then he started
dude with the dreads, right? Yeah, I remember one time I tried to walk into his room on accident because someone was like, the bathroom's down the hall. I think I was on it. And he opened the door. He's like, the bathroom's right there. And I was like, oh, shit, that's Trax a Million.
Real talk. So I mean, I've never really met bro. I didn't even know how he looked like. So I never really seen him. It wasn't until, I guess, Mo really got, because Mo used to be there way more frequent. And I had work and school and shit. So I was just over there at certain times. So that's why I wouldn't catch him anytime I was there. But Mo started getting in good contact with them and like just started getting more smooth and cool with them. And then he used to come through a lot and like smoke with Mo and like make and like want to like work and make some shits. And then after that, that's where I like met him and linked up. And like I was just like, yo, yeah, as a producer, shit, show me the ropes. He was like, oh yeah, I got you, man. You be the next up, man. You just gotta stay on the shit. And I was like, yeah. So from there,
fun, right? That was his He was an African too.
Oh yeah, African as fuck, dog. But it was dope.
Is he a Nigerian?
I don't think Trap's Nigerian, but
he African than a motherfucker though. You know what I'm saying? And you know what's the best about Tracks a Million is like I said, he's a San Jose. See, Tracks a Million's a San Jose legend, Playmakers. This motherfucker, he done produced everybody you could think of from the Bay Area. Okay, so tell me about working with Tracks. Like, well, what kind of because I know, like I said, like this is kind of the premise of this episode. The genius ass question, Playmakers. You know what I mean? So what kind of questions did you ask him, like as far as production, like when you were working with him?
I remember when I was working with him, I used to ask him like I remember I used to ask him like, how'd you get that whole movement for the hyphy shit?
Oh yeah.
And like I remember that was one of the biggest things for me. I was just like, man, because I want to create a movement and shit.
Yeah, a wave.
And then exactly. And he said you just got to keep grinding and working and making sure you reach out and extend your shit to people. Because he said how he got on. Like I don't mean to tell his story, but he explained to me that it was like somebody used his beat. I think Kick the Sneak used his beat.
Yep, the boom.
Yeah, and made some slap to it, and then like he was like, "That's my beat."
Right?
You feel me? Shout out Kick the Sneak when he was like, "That's my beat," and then Kick the Sneak was like, "Yo, come to the studio, I'll fuck with you." So then after he told me that story, I was just like, "Oh man, it don't matter where your beat is. Like everybody's all worried about like licensing and shit." But
let me tell you something. Personally, I love that about you because I never had that problem working with you where you were like, because I've encountered other producers where they're like, well, I want to get this published before you use it, or you know what I mean, on some like, you know what I mean, like stopping, like worrying about money that hasn't even been made yet. You know what I mean, like that's,
real talk.
It's about networking. You know what I mean? Well, shout out to the keyword in the GMM network. You know what I mean? It's about networking. Give me money. You know what I mean?
Networking.
Go on.
Talk. Yeah, so after that, he was just explaining to me, so then when he explained to me, just keep working, I told myself, I want to just make sure I keep grinding consistently and making hits. And I told myself I wanted to make a way in San Jose first, just so more people understand who I am in San Jose. Just because he was a San Jose producer, and I was like, it'd be dope to be, you know what I mean, like,
be the East Side version,
on that same
be
the
East Side comparison to Tracks a Million because he's from the South.
Exactly.
You know what I
mean? Be that, exactly. So when he told me that, I was just like, shit, I just need to get grinding. I kept grinding, and I remember, I was like, I need to make a mixtape. So I wanted to make a mixtape with Yonix. Yonix is a San Jose like tank shit. Yonix is a San Jose, he's a legend out here.
Shout out to Yonix.
Yeah. So me and him made a whole mixtape together. Or not even a mixtape, it was an album. We had like 10, 12 tracks. And we just kept grinding. And then from there, it just gave me a desire to just keep working with more people and making shit happen. So I told myself, like, shit, we got to make the studio more popping so more people come through, have better equipment so that we can record more shit.
Yep.
And then we just kept grinding from there. And then eventually, we gave Tracks an idea. We were like, yeah, you should make a San Jose mixtape of like San Jose people. And he was like, oh shit. And he, you know what I mean? Just slowly developed into a better idea to the tech boom. And just from there, I was just like, man, I need to have something like that, like where hella people can get on and vibe with.
Okay, so check this out. I wanna take it to the next sound cave, the one that was off 5th Street, right?
Exactly.
And before we get there, I remember. Okay, so before we get to that spot on 5th Street, I remember I used to frequent the first sound cave at the Smash Mouth house where platinum hits were recorded, right? And I remember I used to come through, and you know me, I'm doing the moving through Uber because you know what I'm saying. I always felt that was the safest way I could ride dirty and shit. Ironically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember one time and then I didn't know what was going on at this household, but at the time, right? You know what I'm saying?
Flamed up.
There was Soreños, right? Soreños, for all you playmakers that don't know, that's Mexican. That's Mexican gangsters, and they rock the color blue, right? And they don't like nortes by any means. And norteños in Northern California, norteños they wear their color red. You know what I'm saying? So right? So you got the Soreños, they rock blue. Norteños, they wear red. And this is the Mexican thing or Hispanic thing, whatever you want to specify it as. And me, I'm a Filipino American, but I got like, but I got like 30-something% Spanish blood. You know what I mean? So I'm a Spanish looking motherfucker, and like I'm a Niner fan, and my family's bloods and shit. So like I'm just always flamed up because that's also my favorite color. So I'm in here flamed up, waiting outside the studio, the house, essentially, right? There was a long driveway that went to the back. It was a fatty house. Every room was a studio. There was an extension in the back that was a studio also, and there was a fence. There was a gate that used to let people enter, and because that was like the closest access way to your specific studio, and I remember I'm standing outside and I'm smoking a joint, right, and I'm just waiting because I'm like 10 minutes early, and I'm texting you. I'm like, hey, I'm out here, just letting you know, and I'm burning the joint down. And then you go, hey, you're looking at me from a window or some shit. You're like, hey, bro, is that you in the all red? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, come over here right now, right? And I'm like, and then I look and I see you're at the gate and you're waving me down. And I'm like, okay. And I start walking and I'm not thinking nothing of it. You're like, come on, hurry up. And I'm like, all right, because you're like a cool ass dude. I've never seen you like on some demanding shit. You're like, hurry up. You know what I mean? And I start to jog, and because like I said, it was a long driveway that went to the back of the house.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, and I get there, and you're like, bro, and you start telling me to get down. You're like, there's these Sureños over here. They're warring, and they're just jumping everybody that's outside here that looks like an enemy. And I just so happen to be red, wearing as a motherfucker, and I look Mexican, and I'm like, oh shit! And I'm like, bro, you basically saved my life. Funny story too is we're working that whole day. We're working for a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Bud Light, give me money. I remember I had like a backpack full of maybe 5 miscellaneous Bud Light cans, right?
Yeah, I remember that shit.
And I'm sitting there and we're recording and shit. And I did 2 tracks that day. And I remember at one point you just hear all this noise. Dook, 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 dook. Dook, 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 dook. And we're like, what the fuck is that? Is somebody running on the roof? Remember that? And there was a crazy Sureño running on the roof. Bro, like
running on the roof.
Shut everybody's sessions down because if you look across the street, this crazy motherfucker belonged to a gang of motherfuckers just chilling, waiting, watching and shit.
On some other shit.
Bro, it was and it was crazy because I remember calling my boy. My boy, he was renting a room at my crib at the time, right? And I hit him up. I'm like, bruh, because I looked at the time. I was like, okay, he's getting off work, and he works like 20 minutes from here. I'm like, you need to pick me up. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
you need to pick me up.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I step outside, I'm naked. I don't got no fucking strap with me. I'm just fucking naked. You know what I mean? I thought I was just gonna go make some music real quick. You know what I mean? They're like, and they might have been doing that shit because they saw me. Is what I was thinking. Remember there?
I mean, it could have been, but you mean there's.
It was going crazy. It was going crazy at that time, though, in that area.
They didn't like just making money there. We was bringing Mexican hyenas there, barbecuing.
Oh, they didn't like that.
Piping them down.
They didn't like that.
Home. We was just, you know what I mean, making it happen on their block, making money.
Hey, shout out to all the Sureños and shout out to all the Norteños. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna show love to every side because I'm not affiliated at all, but I'm just telling this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. See, because that was a funny. You know what I mean? That's one of my sound cave stories. Mind you, I made some joints over there, which but you know what I'm saying, as far as like stories to tell, that definitely is one of those ones. Like I was like, oh shit, I'm so you might have saved my life right there. Can you imagine me? Imagine me trying to tell these motherfuckers, running down on me. Hey, no. I'm a Filipino. Chino. You know what I mean? Like,
them niggas don't even speak
they
English.
don't go fuck. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But so you might have saved my life right there. You know what I mean? We might not have been doing episode 2 of Playmakers as fuck. This might not have been possible. Jamaicans. Okay. So now that place in its entirety starts to close down, right?
Yeah. So we just shake spots. We were like, this is just not working.
Oh wait, so did you shake it, or were they shutting everyone down? Like did Smash Mouth?
I mean, they were saying they were going to, but I think prior to them shutting us down, we were like,
so you were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we were just like, let's shake spots, and then somebody gave us
real quick, do you know Gino? Do you remember a guy named Gino? Black dude?
Yeah. Light skin dude, right?
Yes, because I know Gino, right? I know everyone.
Wow.
Right? But I think it's funny because he always told me about that studio, and then later on, I think you guys had his old spot, right?
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Small ass world how it works.
Hey, small ass world, and we in it, bud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the truth.
Okay, so now, what I want to know, because I'm interested to know too. So how did you find the 5th Street joint? Like what? Because I know you and shout out to Oos Hef, who I definitely want to get on too.
Yeah.
And I have a Oos Hef story too. You know that, right?
Yeah. You guys got history.
Yeah, like the first joint. First of all, the first time I ever met him, he was laid up. You know what I mean? First time I ever met him, he was laid up. He had just got shot up, and we had a mutual homeboy. You know what I mean? And so I go to visit. You know what I'm saying? Like this was during the time he had just got shot up. We got a neutral homeboy, right? Hold on. Did we get kid back? Yo. Okay, we'll get him back. There he is. Bam, there he is. Okay, so I was just telling a story about the first time I ever met Oos, right? It was the time he had just got shot up, and we had a neutral homeboy, and I'm posted up with my boy, and my boy's talking about, come with me real quick to go visit my boy. So we get to the hospital, and I'm in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? I'm posted up in the goddamn hallway because I don't even know dude like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know son like that. You feel me? Like, he had just got shot up. But then, like, I peek in, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? You know what I mean? He got wires all up in them tubes and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, long story longer, later on down the road, you know what I'm saying? We got another neutral homeboy, shout out to Enormous the Ox, and I'm in his studio, and I'm working with him, and I got a ton of beats from my producers, and this dude hears a beat, and I just laid a hook on it, and Oos was like, yo, can I get on that joint? I'm like, bro, you can have that joint. I was so fucking drunk off Hennessy. It was crazy. I was like, I didn't even remember it the next day. I wasn't even mad that I gave him a dope-ass beat with a dope-ass hook I just laid. It was just dope because it was his first song he had ever recorded, and he put it out on YouTube. It was motherfucking my first goddamn track on YouTube even. It was called My Team, if y'all want to check it out. Oos Hef featuring Bogard and Enormous the Ox. Fucking hell of a joint. Hold on, we just lost Kid. Let's go ahead and get Kid back on. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get Kid back on. Let's see. Call Kid.
Calling Kid O. Mobile.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get Kid. This is, I think, whatever device he was fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Yo. Okay, I got you back. Would you? Is this better? Because the FaceTime joint was cutting off.
Yeah. This might work out better. I don't know why it was cutting off though.
No, it's good. You know what it is? It's I'm in the dead zone too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the middle of the goddamn desert. I'm telling you, bro. I'm in the middle of the desert in the motherfucking area 51. God damn it! Right here on the GMM network. So I was just telling them about. Okay, so I kept on, you know what's funny is, I'm pretty good at this. Like, if something cuts off, I just keep going. Same way you were telling a story while I went to go take a piss, right? Like, we just keep it not a dull moment, right? So I was telling a story, like, because I don't know if I ever told you this, but the first time I ever met Oos, he had just got shot up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we had a mutual friend, right? Shout out to my man, Delin. And Delin, he gets a phone call. And he's like, oh shit, dog, my nigga is, he's good now. I'm gonna go visit him in the hospital. Ride with me. I remember he told me to ride with him solely because of it was traffic time, right? And I'm like, yeah, word. You know what I mean? We're burning. You know what I'm saying? We're on the way there. We get there, and he's talking to his mans. I'm in the hallway, and he calls me up. He's like, hey, he's like, you want to meet my mans? And then, like, I remember a nurse walked in, and I was like, nah, it's cool. So I went in there. I'm like, hey, what up, man? Hey, get better. You know what I mean? Like, speedy recovery. You know, I said some little 1-2 shit. Right? Yeah. Then, years later, you know what I'm saying? My man, Enormous, I booked time at his studio. So I slide through to his studio, and then Oos is there because that's his man's. Enormous is from the South. You know what I mean? And they're from the same squad when they were youngsters. You know what I mean? So, so I'm over here. I'm over here talking to Oos, and he's like, man, I think I met you before. And then it all clicks to me. I go, oh, shit. Yeah. I go, my man Delin took me when you just got shot up, and he was like, yeah, that was you. And then, I remember I even hit Delin, and then at the time the studio was like off like Lawrence Expressway or some shit. It was, it was far from the east at least, right? And my man's like, oh, I'm coming through right now. And then like, I remember I'm recording and I'm drinking so much goddamn Hennessy, right? I'm faded, bro. And I remember I laid a hook down. I know, right? Me faded, right? But I lay a hook down on this beat, and it was one of my beats from one of my producers. Long story longer, he goes, man, that shit is hard right there, and he didn't even rap. He wanted to rap. He was a rapper, but he never laid a track down yet. And I go, bro, you can have that. That's you right there. And he kept me on the hook. The song's called My Team. If it's on YouTube. And matter of fact, it was the first shit I was ever on YouTube. You know what I mean?
That's wild.
Bro, like, and then I didn't see him for years after that. You know what I mean? I didn't see him for years, bro. And it was even someone else who told me, he's like, you're on YouTube. You got this track. It's sick. You're on the hook. I'm like, what? And mind you, it was a Hennessy night. I didn't even remember. Then, it's funny when I hear the joint. It's the perfect example of synesthesia. Check this out, Playmaker. Synesthesia means one sensory perception to the next. So the moment I heard the joint, it flashed me back. You know what I mean? It's the same way you might smell. Like they say, smell is the strongest sense tied to memory. Like, you ever smell a scent, like a fragrance of some broad you used to plow, and then you'd be like, oh my God, it brings you back. You know what I mean? Or even like mom's cooking, you know what I mean? You smell some cooking, and it flashes you back to a time when you was a wee child. Like, you know what I mean? Like, smell is the strongest sense tied to memory. That's the perfect example of synesthesia. So in this case, I hear the track, and I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? And Oos Hef is doing his thing to this day. So I bring him up to say, because I know you and Oos, at one point after the Smash Mouth Studios, you guys were like, all right, let's go open up the Sound Cave elsewhere together. Mm-hmm. Right? So walk me through that. What was that conversation like?
For what? Us moving to Sound Cave?
Yeah, like you and Oos, like moving as a unit. Shout out to Oos. I want to get him on too.
Yeah. Oh shit! It was me. It was Mo. Moore was also helping us move. And
shout out to Moore. Moore's getting on too. I got him scheduled already.
Hell yeah! You definitely need to get Moore on there. He was a part of the whole script.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we were like, we need to get bigger space and stuff. And then the management there was just hating on us because of the whole situation with the Seleniums. So
do you think it was because you guys were black? Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to state the obvious real quick. That wasn't even a joke. I was like, yeah, let them know. They didn't like the niggas up in there. It was like, yo, Smash Mouth is a white band. You know what I mean? Shout out to Smash Mouth. Right? Okay, continue. Oh, did we lose them again? Hold on, we get my people back, get them back. Hold on. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. Okay. You know what? Hold on. This is a hell of a timeline we're painting though. I love this right here, Playmakers, because you guys are right here on episode 2. You know what I'm saying? Things like this can occur in the field. We're gonna go ahead and get them back on the line. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get them back on the line. Let's go ahead and get them back. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I hope y'all is enjoying this contamination-free Corona climate confinement content from the comfort of your own couch. Okay, yeah. Oh. Okay, until he gets back, hit this weed. Let me tell y'all about the Sound Cave. It was a studio that Bogard scot-free himself, speaking of myself in the third person, was able to go and utilize as my sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? Because these were my guys. You know what I'm saying? And like I was able to make a lot of the joints on this last album even. You know what I mean? In this past Sound Cave. You know what I'm saying? Sound Cave being the name of the studio. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get him back on the line. Oh, come on, kid. The Ogambas. That's a powerful name y'all need to recognize too. It's my Nigerian brothers from another. You know what I'm talking about? These motherfuckers. They are definitely. You know what I'm saying? You heard from If the Wise Man. You know what I'm saying? He had Bogarded a couple of segments on the first edition of the Playmakers as fuck. You know what I mean? With West Side Mo, and he got to speak on a couple things and make his presence felt. And he's definitely a man that's going to be on his own feature episode coming up soon here because he's somebody influential in my life. He's a fellow playmaker. You feel me? Oh, let's go ahead and try to get him back on the line. This is crazy. Things like this can occur in the field. You know what I'm saying? And we prepared for it all. You know what I'm saying? I want to tell a quick story while we get him back on the line about me going to get this brew this morning. I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to go ahead and get this brew. And I feel like I live like 5 minutes, maybe a 15-minute walk from the store, but 5-minute drive. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and walk. You know what I mean? It's early in the morning. There shouldn't be too many people out besides the homeless. And, bro, I'm masked up. I'm gloved up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing around. And I must have encountered 6 human beings out there. And I swear, when they were coming my way, I was hitting the triple and quadruple jump. I was a motherfucker jumping side to side than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to keep 6 feet degree of separation and all the social distancing and shit like that. I was not fucking around. And then I get there and then I get the beer, but I forget to buy the liquor. I was hot about that shit. I was like, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucking, because I don't even realize it till I'm like at my doorstep coming back. You know what I mean? I'm looking foolish because I'm wearing all kind of fucking gear. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I look foolish, but I don't feel it. I didn't feel foolish because I'm a motherfucker trying to goddamn stay away from this corona. And everyone should do the same. Everybody stay goddamn corona free. You know what? This is what we're going to do. Right now we're going to have to go ahead and we have to figure out what happened to Kid. Because we're going to have to continue this story. You know what I'm saying? But our stories always intertwined. It's a hell of a story for real though. You know what I mean? Hold on. We're in the flying hell. We're calling him. We're calling him. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, wherever he's at didn't go to hell because all of a sudden he's not picking up the phone. And you know what I'm saying? What is it called? I'm a chaos theory motherfucker. Anything and everything can occur in the field. There he is. Hey, I was just telling people, anything can occur in the field. And I'm like a chaos theory having motherfucker where I was like, I hope the corona didn't just rain terror right now. I'm like, where's he at? You know what I mean? And he's back gone again, if that made sense. Good goddamn. Hey, this is the best bloopers. And you know what's funny? I'm not even going to cut all this out. But while we're at it, check out www.milkandhoneytx.com. You know what I'm saying? Also, go ahead and check out. Yeah, why we make this phone call? Go ahead and check out episode. There he is. Hey.
What happened?
I don't know. You live in a secluded area. I'm in the middle of the fucking Mojave Desert. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
Okay, so I was taking him from you and Oos, getting into the sound cave finally, right? The new one, the latest one, not the latest one, the last one, right? So tell me about that. What was that conversation like with you and Oos?
Well, niggas was already like the situation was hot because Oos got shot by Sureños. So when the Sureños started getting into our shit,
and then the studio was in. So and the studio was in a Sureño hood. So he was like, enough.
Yeah, basically, I came through one day after work and they were like, "Yeah, we need to get all our shit out of here so we can move to this new spot."
And those cats.
Prior to that, though, somebody who was also in that same studio space had got into the same situation where the Sureños ran into the studio and stole everything.
Oh, fuck that.
And like ran in, like some bitch, like they let some bitch got let in and she like left the door open and then ding.
It's always an inside job.
So then some shit happened so that guy ended up leaving and shit because they came and took the computers and shit. And we was like, we're not trying to get into that situation, even though we weren't gonna get caught slipping like that. It was just, when you're in their hood, that shit can happen at any time.
Yeah, because they're going to feel right. They're going to feel like it's their right to do so.
Exactly.
You know,
one day I came and more than half the shit was already moved. And I was like, damn. I was like, actually, before that, I knew where we were going to, but then I came through on moving day. More than half the shit was already moved to the new spot. So then we got to the new spot. Fuck, man, we had to remodel, man. It was a lot, man. We had to detach the booth we put there and move the booth that we put into a new spot, basically. So I forgot who we paid. We paid somebody's uncle or some shit like that. We paid him in beer, bro.
It was me.
Right?
It was Bogard. They were like Bud Lights. Go ahead. Go to work.
Put in a wall, put in our booth, and shit. Yeah, that took a while, man. But when we got set up, it was kind of slow at first. But then eventually, we just slowly started getting more people. We started getting the place looking more and more comfy and cozy. We threw a little barbecue for our first week being there. And then eventually, shit just started rolling because the studio was in a prime. Even though the other studio was nice, the other studio was deep in the west, kind of. This studio was primed, as in.
Oh yeah, it was off the freeway. It was the shit.
2 minutes off the freeway. Exact 880 was there. 101 was there.
And if you wanted to smash through the undercuts, as playmakers, we be smashing through the undercuts by definition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There
you can get there through the undercuts, you know what I mean? Like, and the undercuts, by definition, is the route that the police ain't really looking at. You know what I mean? That's what we mean by undercuts.
So it was still in a prime location, and it actually increased our business because people from out of town.
They couldn't find them, but they couldn't find the bitch.
Exactly. So we started having hella people, killing people. We started having clients that were frequent clients were outside San Jose. We started getting clients from Hayward and Frisco. So it expanded to the whole group entity because people were telling me they're finding my number on Google.
Ooh, on the Uncle Google even.
There's studios in San Jose, and then my shit would pop up, and my number would pop up. Like, niggas started getting real legit. So,
hey, you know what? You know what's dope, kid? Is like, just the whole vibe at that place. It was check us out, Playmakers. It was a goddamn building in the middle of like not the middle. It was like on the outskirts of downtown San Jose. And like, and this motherfucker, right? It was a building full of studios. So like, you hear live music everywhere. It was a vibe than a motherfucker.
Real
like,
talk.
matter of fact, like if you were to mute the beat on some of my tracks, you might hear like a bass line or a drum in the background.
You might definitely hear some drums in the back.
Yeah, because there's motherfuckers just jamming. And you know what fucked me up is like, you know, when I go there, I would be business as usual. I'll just get there, hit the lab, get it in. You know, we might step out, smoke a backwood or two, right? But then, like, I remember one time you were like, bruh, you want to go play Street Fighter? And I was like, and I had to leave. And I was like, what? And then, you know, because they had a goddamn arcade machine upstairs.
Oh, yeah, they had a whole setup.
Bro, they had a whole setup, and it was an ill arcade machine where it had all the new games, but it had the joysticks, like, and it was in a cabinet. It was wet as the motherfucker. It was wet than a motherfucker. And you know me, I'm a nerd from the streets. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I was like, bro, I fuck with Street Fighter. And then you know what's a bitch is like, I always said I'm gonna come back and fight you in Street Fighter, and like I never got to return to that studio because but you know after what was it, like a year and some change, 2 years maybe, then you guys moved up out of that spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that spot to me was dope because anybody who takes themselves serious as a producer, right? First of all, rappers, when they take themselves serious, what do? They record music. Producers, when producers take themselves serious, they build a studio. And then when they take themselves even more, right? When they take themselves even more serious, they build a studio outside of where they lay their head. Cause then now you have an office. You feel me? Like
basically.
Right? And like, so it's like, I love seeing the growth of you as a producer, you know, transitioning from place to place. You know what I'm saying? Because
you seen it all.
Oh man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying being along for the ride. You know what I mean? Like I'm a motherfucker. Like you know what's dope is like when I make music with you, it resonates with other individuals. You know what I mean? Like I make music with a lot of people, but like, you know, when I get in with you, dog, it's some like we always make something that resonates with everybody. Like matter of fact, check this out, Playmakers. Matter of fact, the goddamn intro song to our podcast was produced by my man K.I.D right here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we made that.
Yeah, dog. And that was just a track for my album. You know what I mean? But then like when I started doing the podcast, I was like, oh shit, I have a track. Like matter of fact, I was trying to think of a name for the podcast, for the fantasy joint. You know what I mean? And I was like, and then I was like, oh shit, real fantasy Playmakers. I got a track called Playmakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smack, too. That's a smack. Shout out.
It fits right in.
Hey, shout out to my man Robbie, my man Rumboy Robbie. I'm actually underneath his umbrella right now on this fantasy content shit online. We're gonna be live tonight. I'll shoot you a link. I'll be going live with these dudes, right? But check this out. This dude, he had reached out to me on the gram and he was like, I think my audience will appreciate your content. And then I'm like, word, fuck yeah. And the rest is history, right? But then we got to talking and I go, yeah, man, you know what I mean? Well, so what made you, you know what I mean, like reach out? And he was like, bruh, I heard your intro. It was fire. You know what I mean? And I was like, ugh. You feel me? Like, bruh, the intro, this shit that boom, we make plays every day. We make plays every, right? What's happening? Is that if?
Yeah.
What's happening? Okay. So now we're moving along the timeline, right? Right?
Ooh.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
I actually want to ask one more question about Tracks a Million, right? So, what was the one thing that you could say that you took from Tracks a Million? Mind you, when I say took, is because we are all thieves. You know what I mean? We are all thieves, but we are not. We're not common thieves. You know what I mean? So when I take something, when we take something from someone, we're taking jewels. We're taking gems, something we could run with. That's what kind of thieves we are. So what is something that you took from Tracks a Million? What, you know, a world-renowned San Jose producer. What did you take from him that you still have with you till this day?
Shit. I had some of the sound kits he gave me, and then some of the tips he gave me on how to make beats and mix them and make them sound cool. Because even after I left the Sound Cave, I still was like, I would still go to the studio and like make music with him.
Yeah.
So one of the big things he told me was like, just believing in yourself. One of the things that was like that's like not tangible was just believing in yourself that you're gonna be like somebody that's gonna make it happen and stay consistently doing it.
Yes.
So one thing I really learned is because he consistently kept doing it. Like,
okay, I want to pause you right there. Because this is something I'm doing on this series. The last episode, it was about humility. In this case, I'm cutting you off. The key word for this episode is consistency. You know what I'm saying? Consistency. Okay, go on.
Yeah. So then this one thing that just highlighted for me, like, was staying consistent on this shit. And I remember telling myself, like, in Sound Cave, like, I may not be the slapping his beats or something like that, or make the dopest hooks or something, or whatever it was, but I'm gonna be the nigga
You're
that's
being modest.
going. So I told myself that I should just keep going no matter what, and I felt like that's what's gonna make me outlast everybody and like make me be me. So from there, man, it's still that same mentality.
Yes. Okay. So now, tell me about what happened to leave the Sound Cave to lead up to, you know, you being right now at the headquarters, you know what I mean, at the HQ, you know what I'm saying, and into present day. Tell me about that process.
Yeah, so in Sound Cave, we just kept progressing and stuff and making things happen. We're just getting more known and more people knew us, and we're just getting more clients in terms of the studio.
Yeah, I met a lot of producers through you guys too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we had a lot. We had a lot going on there. But eventually, Mo, one of the people that was like helped start off the Sound Cave, went to Vegas. He wanted to start working in the Vegas studio over there. So when Mo moved to Vegas, and we didn't stop the Sound Cave, we still kept going for about a year and a half. But it did take a hit on like having personnel there.
Yeah, because Mo collabs a lot, so that would entail bringing in other artists. You know what I mean? Which also entail more clientele, and you know what I mean?
And he was always in the studio, so that was another thing too. Like he always had someone to hold it down in the studio. So since he was always in the studio,
man, I love that time because that time you were like, bruh, we need you in here. I was like, okay, book me. You know what I mean? Because it was like, you know me, I love being able to help, and like the production value that you give me, the beats that I fuck with you on, you know, all that is priceless to me. So like, paying the $30 an hour or whatever it was, or getting blocks or buying beats, it didn't matter to me because I knew I was contributing to something greater. You know what I mean? As far as you individually, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's just how it was too. So when Mo stepped back for a little bit from the studio, I was still working with hella people and making shit happen, but there was a lot of times where the studio wasn't being utilized by the people who started it up and stuff. And then we just started having a falling out with the people that we, just had a falling out with the last few people that were there because we started bringing in more heads.
Yeah. I would say falling out for lack of a better term, right? Because there wasn't no beef. Out. It wasn't no beef or nothing like that. It was just maybe differences of opinion. Yeah, it was maybe differences of opinion or even just people's paths taking them elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what really triggered it actually was the big studio house of hella different, it was like a warehouse of hella studio rooms.
Yeah.
Somebody broke a water sprinkler.
Oh, that's right, bro. I remember this. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, fuck. I remember. No, because I remember I was trying to book some time, Blood. Remember? I was booking some time. Remember this, Blood? I was about to book some time, and you're like, bro, the whole joint is flooded. And I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Because it was Playmakers. This is a building, like a big giant warehouse building. And it was a 2-story joint. And the upstairs restrooms or whatever the fuck it was, because that's where the bathrooms were. They were upstairs. These motherfuckers somebody done fucked something up and started, and the shit was just fucked up. It fucked up people's shit. Hey, did you guys lose any equipment because of the flood?
No, we didn't lose any equipment, but we lost hella other shit, just hella time, client, money. I think we were out, that shit happened in, I think, the ending of September, and we were out, it happened in August, and we weren't back up until October, so it took out a whole month. But, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but a whole month of
and you're paying for the rent for the spot. You're doing all this shit.
Basically.
Yeah, it's an L. It's an unavoidable L because of the fucking, the schematics are all flooded. You know what I mean?
Basically. They were cool and they relieved us of some of the rent or some shit like that. But just since everything went down, and then we lost clients, we lost money, you know what I mean? So it just took time to get everything back up. And in that midst of that time, I told myself, I was like, we need a new calibration of everything because we had new people. I was still paying, I think I was still paying 1/3 of the rent. And then
and 1/3 is more than a quarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean? But there was 5 of us, but I'm paying 1/3. You know what I mean?
No, but I feel you though, because I've ran studios do you remember my studio at the airport?
Yeah, I remember that shit. That was actually one of the studios I started seeing was doing too. So check this out. That's what gave me my ideas.
Check this out, Playmakers. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the east side, San Jose. There's a place called Hillview Airport. It's a private airport. They fly in and out Cessna engine planes. You know what I mean? This shit was crazy. I had a hangar, you know what I'm saying, that was flipped into a studio, and you would go out on my porch and smoke weed, and there was the motherfucking takeoff landing strip type of jump off. There was planes in this motherfucker. It was a vibe. You know what I mean? But I understand the importance of a vibe as far as the studio goes, because I loved going to the Smash Mouth house, right? Because I knew
I like the vibe there.
Right, because I knew there's a bunch of other artists here. There's every room's a studio. And there was platinum, legit platinum records recorded there. Where I was like, I love being in the building. You know what I mean? Then the spot over there off the 5th Street warehouse that y'all had before it flooded, that motherfucker was a vibe too, because it was just same thing. Every room's a studio. If it wasn't a studio, there was somebody doing videography, or there was band rehearsal spots. It was just a vibe. You step outside, there's always somebody smoking weed. There's always somebody, you know what I mean? It was just, it's my kind of gig. You know what I mean? It's my kind of bag.
Like you said, it was a vibe, bro. It's like somebody who pray going to church.
Yeah, it's like church, goddammit. Jamaicans.
Real talk. So it was just that realm that like allowed music making to just flourish.
Okay, so let's tie it in. So now, what was it? Was it along the same timeline when Mo and Prophet returned from Vegas, right? When they actually made the move back here, right? Was that
actually a little bit? It was a little bit before when I brought everything back. Mo was coming in and coming back and forth a little bit more.
Yeah, I remember he was always making that trip.
Yeah, he was making that trip, but then I remember when because of the flooding and shit. So what happened during the flooding? We left a lot of the equipment still in there.
Oh shit!
And then because I figured we'd get back up and running pretty fast. But then in between the time, people were taking the equipment and bringing it to their house and like recording and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm about to just bring this shit to my house. It makes no sense for it to just be there and have other people using it, and I'm playing one kid. You know what I mean? So eventually, I just brought it to the house, and I was just like, you know what? It wasn't until I brought it to the house and I started like feeling it at the house, and like, I was like, man, I don't need to pay all that.
For real though, right? Hey, bro, that's how I felt too when I closed up my last studio, because you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I'm coming in here at night to work and I'm flooding it with clientele. But then at the end of the day, it was like when there was times where the clientele isn't paying for the rent, when the clientele isn't paying the bills, it's like, man, fuck, I can't keep coughing the dough up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, real talk.
It should always be self-sustaining. You know what I mean?
Real talk. It should definitely be self-sustaining. And shit wasn't like that no more. I started, you know what I'm saying?
And you know what's crazy too is because, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, I had Westside Mo. Check out episode 1 of Playmakers as fuck. You know what I'm saying? On the GMM network, subscribe, right? But I say this because even on episode 1, the boy Mo was like, man, you know, when I left, you know what I mean? He's like, I was able to take the studio and use it to its fullest when he was out there in Vegas, because he was like, I didn't had a business with K.I.D, and we were young niggas, and I took it for granted. He was like, I took the studio for granted. You know what I mean? And like, it's crazy because the studio is a vibe, and like when you're young too, it's also like you know what I mean? Like, you might lead a club and have some bitches and be like, hey, yo, y'all want to go to the studio? You know what I mean? Like, there's all, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So then, mind you, I'm not saying that most of that, but I'm saying because I understand how it was to take a studio for granted, because I used to run a business, but then it would just be like, it would add to my resume as like a young player running the streets. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, baby, you want to go to the studio? You know what I mean? Like, you feel me? Like, right? And then, like, you know what I mean? Like, when it always takes losing things. You know what I mean? Like whether, right, to make you appreciate it to a degree. Like, or in this case, you guys were forced out. You know what I mean? So now bring me back to like, take me to the time when now Mo is back. Your brother, your Profito's back, because then I know Mo started really turning it up. You and Mo, I should say that. Let me rephrase that. You and Mo, you guys really started turning it up with putting the music out. You know what I mean? Like,
shit. Well, so after that, once I started having the shit at the house, niggas was just thinking about focusing more on making music at the house and just getting back to what our ground roots of what we were doing. And Mo was on this transitioning and coming back, and we were just like, we talk on the phone and be like, yeah, man, we need to get back to what we was doing, man. Just get back to making hits consistently. Shit, saving some money overhead, but not going to have in the studio and just make some beats from the house until we can find some new spots. So shit, that's what just really happened, and we just been making music, stay consistent, going back to what we were doing before. And one thing we said is we just gonna stay consistent, man, and keep going and keep grinding for it. So right now, man, we just still grinding, making music every week, man. And just trying to have a calendar of shit we need to do to keep ourselves accountable. And then in between that, Profito came back. So Prophet Chicago came back, and then things have just been smooth. Now we have all this. It's like a car with you know what I mean, 8 spark plug cylinders, and like 2 of them was gone.
Yeah, it's a V12.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, V12, exactly. Now you got all 8 pistons pumping and pushing at the same time.
Yeah.
So now I feel like we're at full power.
Yeah, and fuck all you environmentalists that are like, oh, we need electric cars. Fuck you. You ain't never rode a V12.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And these motherfuckers, they driving matter of fact, you're driving, you and Mo and the rest of y'all, man, y'all driving my inspiration. You know what I mean? As an artist myself. You know what I mean? Like, I fuck with y'all because y'all keep me young in my old age. You know, I'm only in my 30s, but you know what I mean? I'm an old head. You know what I'm saying?
You keeping us going, man.
Thank you. I like your version better. We're going to run with that. You know what I mean? All right. So, it looks like we got ourselves to the present day, right? So, now present day.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want you to
present day now, man.
Let everybody know where they can find your beats and where to follow you. That way, they could perhaps get some of this production.
You can follow me and find my music at Knowledge I Deliver on everything, on Apple Music, on SoundCloud, on Spotify, on IG, on Twitter. It's Knowledge I Deliver on Loom. Knowledge I Deliver on pretty much everything. If you wanna get at me in an email, you can get me at knowledgeideliver@gmail.com and shit.
Blah, blah, blah.
knowledgeideliver.com. knowledgeideliver.com is on its way. So it's gonna be a lot of knowledge I deliver. So knowledge is delivered after all this delivery has been surfaced.
Blah blah blah. See, in the Corona climate confinement, we are still going to manage to bring you that contamination-free content, and knowledge is delivered. Knowledge is delivered at your front doorstep, right on your phone or whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? Kid, it was a pleasure. This is only part 1 of the shit. I'm definitely gonna have you back on and keep catching up with you. You know what I'm saying? Hell of an episode.
Hell yeah, man.
Man, hell of an episode,
appreciate
bro.
It.
Man, and it's a hell of...
Yeah, appreciate you having my story, man. I appreciate it a lot, man. Can't wait for the next one.
Hey, man, it's a hell of a story, and it's a story that needs to be told, and it's a story that continues to go on and flourish. Shout out to all the Y, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the playmakers out there. Everybody, subscribe to the channel. Follow us at the GMM Network. Follow me at Bogard Scott Free World. Follow my man. Knowledge is delivered on everything you can think of. Check out Westside Mo on Spotify because, more than likely 9 out of 10, the production is from my man K.I.D here. You'll hear the Eureka tag and you'll know it's K.I.D. When you hear that Eureka tag, you know knowledge is being delivered. Same way every time, every goddamn time you guys click any episode of the Playmaker AF or the Real Fantasy Playmakers is going to have that theme song produced by my man K.I.D. You know what I'm saying? With me on the joint. Man, K.I.D.
Appreciate you having me on here, man.
Hey, all good, man. I want you to send me all the links so I can put them in the description of the episode. You know what I mean? All y'all playmakers, you know what I'm saying? Keep chasing your dreams. Stay safe in this Corona climate. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Rum Boys. Follow us at Rum Boys Fantasy Network on all platforms. Follow me once again at the GMM Network. Check out K.I.D and all his joints, bruh. Much love once again, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm like damn near big bruh. I love it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Hey man. Appreciate everything you do, Bogard. Keep shit going, man. I'm definitely having what you doing.
Man, you already know, my bruh. For sure. Be easy. Be safe out here. For sure. You too, my brother. Peace. Once again, that was my man, K.I.D. That's an acronym for knowledge is delivered. You know what I'm saying? Follow him as such on all platforms. Oh.
I